Real sightings, real witnesses, real investigations. From the files of MUFON, this is a Northland MUFON Spotlight Case. June 2006. A quiet highway in northern North Dakota, and a family driving home from a visit with relatives in Bemidji, Minnesota. The radio was playing softly, the road was dark, and outside the car, the sky stretched endlessly across the prairie. It should have been an ordinary drive, but somewhere east of Devil's Lake, one small light in the sky would perform a maneuver that, to this day, the witness cannot explain. The witness in this case was traveling home with his parents after visiting family in northern Minnesota. They were driving west along a quiet highway across the plains. It was about 9:30 in the evening. His father was driving. His mother was asleep in the passenger seat, and the witness was sitting in the back seat looking out the rear window, just passing the time during a long drive home. At first, nothing seemed unusual, but then he noticed something moving in the sky. At first, it looked like a distant aircraft, just a single white light moving across the sky from east to west. You see, in that part of the country, airplanes are not uncommon. But something about this light immediately stood out. There were no blinking navigation lights. No red, no green. Just a single, steady white point moving across the sky. Still, the witness really didn't think much of it. He just simply watched it as the car continued down the highway. But then, the object began to slow down. And that's when things became strange. Aircraft don't usually slow down mid-air, especially not without changing direction. So what was this light doing? As the witness continued watching, the object began to slow dramatically. And then it did something even stranger. The light began to trace a small circle in the sky. Not a wide sweeping turn, but a tight circular motion, almost as if it were briefly maneuvering or adjusting its position. But then suddenly, it stopped. Completely motionless, hovering in the sky for only about half a second, but it was stopped. And then it moved again, but not like an airplane. At that point, the object shot straight across the sky, instantly. The witness described it as covering nearly a quarter of the sky in about a second. At the same time, it appeared to climb rapidly in altitude, and within moments, the light became smaller and smaller and smaller until it vanished completely into the darkness. The entire maneuver lasted only seconds, but it was enough to leave the witness stunned, because whatever he had just seen did not behave like any conventional aircraft. Still shocked, he immediately told his father what had just happened, but by the time his father had looked up, the object was already gone. No one else in the car had seen it, and the moment passed quickly as the car continued down the highway. But the image of that light, the slowing, the circling, the stop, and then the instantaneous acceleration across the sky, that would stay with him for years. Cases involving rapid acceleration and sudden directional changes appear frequently in UFO reports. Witnesses often describe objects that can hover silently, move at aircraft speeds, and then accelerate instantly beyond what conventional aircraft were capable of. In many cases, these movements occur in just seconds, without visible propulsion and without sound, and without the gradual acceleration required by traditional aircraft. In this case, the witness specifically described three unusual behaviors. First, the object slowed dramatically while in flight. Second, it made a tight circular maneuver in the sky. And third, it accelerated across a large portion of the sky almost instantly. These characteristics are difficult to reconcile with conventional aircraft or satellites. But without radar data, additional witnesses, or photographic evidence, the exact nature of the object remains uncertain. Still, one question remains. Why did the object slow down and circle in the first place? Was it simply an aircraft viewed from an unusual angle? A satellite catching the last light of the sun? Or something far less ordinary? briefly maneuvering high above the plains of North Dakota. For this witness, the moment lasted only seconds, but the memory of that sudden burst of motion across the sky has stayed with him ever since. Because sometimes, the most puzzling encounters are not the ones witnessed by crowds, but the ones seen by a single observer, on a quiet highway, late at night, watching the sky, and wondering, what just happened? This has been another Northland MUFON Spotlight case. And until next time, keep those eyes to the sky, because you never know what you're going to see.